simply breathtaking. And still on the virus, while there may be COVID-19 vaccine skepticism in some parts of the world, in Kenya, people are eager to get protected against the virus. Almost 1.2 million people have been inoculated with the first dose as the demand surges. The vaccination exercise has, however, hit a snag in the country due to the government's dependence on humanitarian aid for vaccines.
In Kenya, the race to immunize its citizens started in that March 2021 when the country received over 1 million doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. As of 11th of July 2021, less than 500,000 have been fully vaccinated in the country. In a country where the population is at 52 million, this is just a drop in the ocean. India's COVID-19 health crisis halted the ongoing vaccination campaigns in Kenya and other African countries depending on the COVAX facility for its vaccine supplies. Despite the slow rollout of coronavirus vaccination, the danger still lurks in the public and the fear of infection is still alive. We meet with Alphonse Juma, a web developer based in Nairobi who is a survivor of coronavirus pandemic. How coronavirus ravaged his body mid last year is still vivid in his mind.
Yeah, but there was one particular day when now the symptoms were too much, around day 10, 11 or 12. And on that particular day, what I decided to do is to call the entire of my family. Like for me, I was like telling everyone goodbye because it was too much. I called my family, put them on a loudspeaker, and then immediately I started talking, like I started coughing. I could not like do 2 words without coughing. So my symptoms were like too much, and I kept being awake, like I didn't want to sleep because sometimes I'd sleep and die. So I was at that point when like I was overwhelmed completely by the symptoms.
He will want to get the AstraZeneca jab, but the shortage of the vaccine in the country makes this reality dim.
I used to have a lot of, politics and criticism of the government, but immediately I got COVID. And from the experience I went through, I would rather for me, like I would be so open for the vaccination based on the statistics we are getting, even for the people who react to it.
Having felt a near-death experience, he feels the government should do more to ensure the vaccination of the public at a time when deadly variants of the virus are emerging.
I would say the government is trying. I really don't know much about them, but maybe what I would advocate for is that we can also look at ways in which we have more so that we don't rely on other countries in terms of the vaccination.
A majority of population in Kenya are youth. They make up to 43% of the population. They, however, can't get access of the coronavirus vaccine due to the shortage facing nations, especially in Africa, that depend on humanitarian aid. Marilina Cheng, who is a 23-year-old, tells us that she fears getting the AstraZeneca vaccine should it be opened up to her age group. The negative rumors surrounding the AstraZeneca vaccine being at the center of it.
I'm not afraid. Maybe if it's now like if you cannot go to work because you've not been vaccinated, it's when I'll go. But otherwise, no.
The fears expressed by Marilyn being an indication that civic education is still a marriage in the public concerning the coronavirus vaccination.
Honestly, no. The government has not given us information, actually informed choices about the vaccine. Because personally, we work with schools and you'd hear teachers saying that they were told to go for the vaccine. You don't know what you're being vaccinated with, but you're told if you do not, you'll not go to work. I feel like they've not done, honestly, that's not a well done job.
For those who have been given their first dose, the concern is whether they'll be able to get access to their second dose. Dr. Shemotweri, who is a virologist, however, allays those fears by revealing that no study has been done to show that a delay in getting the jab has any side effects.
One thing I would say is that people should not be worried if they don't get the second dose. And two, we're looking at probably the best vaccine that could have been given to our population, as it is an adenovirus delivery system. So we're looking at a system where our own cells should already be producing these proteins and priming our own immune system.
In April, private COVID-19 vaccination with Sputnik V shots from Russia came to a stop in Kenya after the government barred companies from shipping and administering the COVID-19 vaccines. Opinion raised claim that this was in bad faith.
I believe that leeway should be there. In my own opinion, there should be no limitation, but there should be regulation from the ministry. Because the UK is currently undertaking a combined trial to see what is the effect of having one vaccine versus the other. And with the population and the anxiety that has captured their public due to the COVID infection, we will have cases where people tend to take two different vaccines.
The move by India to ban exports of AstraZeneca vaccine and Remdesivir due to a spike in infections being criticized by virologist Dr. Shemuteri, who claims it is counter-effective.
Where now you should have as many people vaccinated as possible. This way now we will not have a delay and a panic like India had, and they went ahead and vaccinated people. But those people could not be protected from the disease because they were being infected that same day.
Kenya is among countries listed to receive part of 55 million COVID-19 jabs from the United States, which will be shared globally. A section of ordinary Kenyans have the opinion that developed countries should do more to help African nations.
Sio ingesaidia sababu sasa chanjo kama yote inafanya kazi moja. Sioni vile inaweza kusimamishwa. Chanjo zote tunavaa kuletewa so long as zinafanya kazi moja.
Kama huwezi jitengenezea utafanya nini? Okay, sisi sijasikia vaccine imetengenezwa Kenya. Kama unataka watu wasaidike, si basi wapatiane hizo vaccine zikam. Juu hata after all, hata ukikaa na mtengenezaji mtatoa wapi?
President Uhuru Kenyatta has announced plans to vaccinate the entire Kenyan adult population of 26 million people by mid-2022, with 10 million set to be vaccinated by December of this year. Africa risks having COVID-19 strain resistance to all vaccines available as the virus continues mutating amid a slow vaccination drive. Thus, world countries have been facing a shortage of COVID-19 vaccines at a time where there have been evolution of deadly variants. Here in Kenya, all eyes are turned on the government to see whether they will be accountable enough to ensure proper inoculation of the public at a time where the war against the pandemic is still on. Irene Mwangi, KUTV, Nairobi.
We'll take another short break right here on KUTV Primetime News. When we come back, we have more